Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Inside Battlefield. My name is Tom, Community Manager for Battlefield, and this week we're excited to be back with another Community Spotlight. So instead of sitting down with our own team, I'm joined today by a member of the community to talk about Battlefield from the perspective of our players. So without further ado, with me today is Torbis. Hello Torbis.
Hello! Happy to be on the podcast. Very excited.
Happy to have you. You were visiting Stockholm?
Yes.
So
I was originally going to visit. That had nothing to do with this originally. Just to visit, have some fun with friends and such. And then this opportunity came up.
Yeah, so I was like, hey Torbis, you're in town. I'm right next door. You wanna come join us on the podcast? And Torbis said yes. So
immediately.
Yeah, Torbis, how's it going? How's your visit been? How's your trip been?
It's been good. It's been very rainy. It's been
Dude.
I came here in a storm.
Yeah.
It's the one day was sunny outside was during the parade, and that was fun. That was awesome. And otherwise, it's been walking around a lot. Stockholm, Södermalm. It's been great. It's been very rainy, but otherwise, it's been a fantastic trip so far, and I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. So for folks who like talking about the weather, I think this past week we had the worst storm in 25 years here in Sweden, and I think in Norway there was some rain as well. So not the summer I personally was hoping for, but last Saturday we had the Stockholm Pride Parade, Torbis, for which you joined us as well.
Yes.
So we were there with the dice cart joining in the parade, and we had Oscar from our team DJing, and he did a terrific job.
Fantastic job.
And it was a really lovely time. So shout out to the folks that hosted that as well. That was just really lovely. So if you are in Stockholm in the summer, definitely come check that out as well. And Torbis, before we get into talking more about you, because that's what the community spotlights are for, I also want to give a shout out to all of our listeners. So if you enjoy these community spotlights and you're interested to maybe join them in a future episode, hit us up via podcast@battlefield.com. I personally want to keep trying these. So, if you're interested, if you like these questions, thoughts, tips, send them in. Love to hear from you. Now over to you, Torbis. Could you please introduce yourself for listeners who might not be familiar with you and who you are as a member of our Battlefield community?
Yes, so my name is Torbis. I've been a Battlefield player since Bad Company 2 when I was way younger. And
when you were technically too young to play.
Oh, way too young. And I think if I remember, I was introduced by a friend of mine, and we would play at his every night because he's right next to our house, right? So we would play over there, and I've been playing Battlefield since then. Then I started content creation in around 2015 around Battlefront 1, and I used to stream that every day for a very long time. And that was a lot of fun.
You told me how many days did you stream in the year?
About 200 straight.
That's a lot.
From 1 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun and also very exhausting.
Yes.
And but after that, I went into Battlefront 2, where I didn't do as much creation because I got into more outside stuff. So I started fishing a lot more as well.
We refer to it as you were touching grass.
I was touching grass.
Okay, yeah, nice.
But I still played a lot of Battlefront and then a lot of Battlefield 1 and 5, especially 5, which I clocked in around 1,000 hours.
Oh, okay. That's a lot.
It's a lot, but there's some people that have an insane amount of hours. But otherwise, I love Battlefield. I also really like to be outside. I love fishing. I used to fish a lot when I was younger with my dad. And love hiking. It's most fun I like to do.
Okay, and Norway is beautiful for hiking.
Norway
so shout out to Norway.
Shout out to Norway for being the best country to hike in.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's on my bucket list, folks. Just want to throw it in there. So you basically grew up with Battlefield, but also Battlefront, so a lot of dice games. You got into content creation at an early age when you were still a young trooper yourself. Yeah, awesome. And, since I would describe you as, the younger/newer generation of Battlefield fans, even though you've been playing for quite a long, but you're still quite young. You're 21 years old.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit more about how that journey has been for you? You grew up with Bad Company 2 with your friends, but what has Battlefield meant to you, growing up and Yeah.
No, Battlefield's always been an escape for me because there was a lot of stuff happening when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I've gotten so many friends through Battlefield that I'm still friends with now and still play with Battlefield daily almost. Otherwise, it's helped a lot mentally as well, having a game or a franchise and a squad to play with, which you can play with for years and years and years on, which has been great. And generally, the franchise itself has helped a lot to me. So it's been a fun and sometimes rough experience to play with, but I wouldn't take any of it back.
So overall, fun. Met a lot of people.
Yes.
You've grown as a person as well throughout, like, different versions of Battlefield. You're a little bit older now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's, it's, that's why I would love to do these community spotlights. It's just nice to see and hear from, the other end of the spectrum, like our players, what does a game mean to you? And like right now here on the podcast, we're obviously talking about Battlefield, but I bet there are, or I know there are countless examples just like this for people who grew up with other games, and gaming is very important to them. So it's a discussion I enjoy having with you. So if you had to summarize like why Battlefield is important to you, or it has been in your life.
It's been very important to me because of friends primarily and the community itself. Back in the day, especially, there was just a couple servers you'd always play on, and you'd always meet the same people. Even though if you don't know them, you recognize their name, right?
Yeah.
And you'd eventually make friends, and some of those friendships had turned to like long-lasting friendships. And there's just something about Battlefield that I don't feel like I can get anywhere else. That like combined warfare between vehicles, infantry, and such is such a unique experience.
I think we played together quite a bit during the launch of 2042.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a good chopper player myself, helicopter pilot, but you are.
Yes.
You're playing in the Nightbird, wrecking quite a bit. The Nightbird was quite strong.
Oh, it was
back
so
then.
much better.
Like it needed a balance pass.
Yes,
So,
it definitely.
but yeah, like I remember joining you in the chopper and flying around a little bit. That was fun. So those type of moments.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing you need to improve on though, and that is PTFO.
Yeah, okay. I think I remember like I was just exploring the map and just walking around
you
a
were
bit.
just
and you're
walking around.
like, Tom, where are you going? Like,
You need to come back, help a little bit. And I just look at the map, which are beautiful.
yeah,
So-
I just loved exploring back then.
Yeah.
It was all Neil, but the PTFO came later.
Exactly.
I swear. Yeah, and what are some of your favorite Battlefield memories? So Bad Company 2 was your first.
Yes.
I don't want to know your favorite Battlefield yet. We'll get to that. Too,
Yes.
but, maybe share some of your moments throughout like the Battlefields you played.
Yes.
what you remember.
So the most I remember from Bad Company 2 was I played a lot on Arica Harbor, almost exclusively.
Good map.
It's great. And I think my favorite stuff about it was primarily the destruction, because the buildings themselves would like collapse completely. And some of the memories I had, I think there was like 2 squads of people inside it was one of the main buildings, like near the city part, and you could collapse it. And I got the whole 8-man kill just by destroying that building. And that is one memory that struck with me quite a lot. I think that's what I really liked about Bad Company 2. The destruction was insane. A bit too much, yeah. But it was really fun and unique, especially for its time.
Yeah, and I think the flow of the map
Yes.
stood out to me. Like, depending on which mode you played, you could start at the top
Yep.
with a long road and make your way down, eventually into the harbor with all the buildings.
Yes.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the SV98. I think I platinumed. That was the first weapon I platinumed. Personally, I don't know, because I think technically it wasn't the best sniper rifle, but I had a lot of fun with that one. But yeah, sorry, I digress. this is about you, Torbis.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
So I think my favorite weapon was the XM8. I think the assault version of that. And I pretty much only used it. There wasn't much else that I used. I did use the tracker dart a lot, because that thing was really fun to get at enemy vehicles, especially if they were hammering everybody down. So using that tracker dart on them was just, and if you hit, just perfect. Just perfect.
So that's some Battlefield Bad Company 2 memories. What about you mentioned you played Battlefield 1, 5
Yes.
as
So
well?
Battlefield 5 was quite fun, a bit rocky, I would say. But I had one squad that I played entire Battlefield 5 with. Pretty much just one squad.
For $1,000.
Together, probably double that.
Okay. A lot of
But yeah, we played a lot of Battlefield 5. I played a lot of armor in Battlefield 5. As that, I always like vehicles. Like vehicles is my favorite thing.
So you are primarily a vehicle player.
Yeah, if there's a vehicle that I can get available, I will take it.
Okay.
If not, then I'll happily play infantry. But vehicles is just my jam. It's such a unique thing, especially with destruction. I just like driving into buildings and just tearing them down. And I think Battlefield 5 had a good amount of destruction to not destruction, where you could destroy buildings, but like there was a shell of the building still, and that was really cool. And also fortifications was fun. Some rounds I would just play support and only build up stuff.
What's your favorite class and or weapon?
Engineer.
My
favorite's always been engineer.
So you like playing vehicles, but you also like repairing, but maybe taking them down as well?
I absolutely love taking out vehicles. It's a bit funny because I love playing vehicles. I love taking out vehicles. There's something about just taking out like an RPG or a bazooka and just hitting a tank and then seeing it explode. There's just something great about it. Or say in like 2042 with like helicopters or jets.
All-time favorite Battlefield map?
I'm going to go back to Arica Harbor. No, wait. Devastation for Battlefield 5. I love that map to death.
Why?
It's very infantry based, right? But you also have vehicles, like very tight vehicles there. And it was one of the few games where I would use this like scout tank, the Staghound, I think it was called. And you could rack up like 100 kills easy with it. But the big church as well in the middle had such great opportunities for infantry. And I just think the flow of that map was fantastic.
Okay. Before the podcast, we chatted. You mentioned Arica Harbor a lot. So like you changed your mind on the podcast. So that's actually interesting for me to hear that there is a map to you even better than Arica Harbor.
Yeah. It's just
what about your favorite map from Battlefield 2042?
Kaleidoscope.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's it.
There's a hard fight between Orbital and Kaleidoscope. Because I really, where was it? On Kaleidoscope, there's that little base on the B point, I think it's called, opposite of the... That part is awesome. I really like fighting in that area, generally. And that's probably the entire reason I like the map, because of that like military base area. And it's super cool. And Orbital, it's just great. I think
I actually expect, like I was surprised because I did expect like an Orbital or like or one of the season maps, because Spearhead is a big fan favorite as well. But I actually am, it amuses me more that you picked like a map that not everybody else picks as your favorite.
I think it's just really unique with Orbital, because you obviously have that big rocket.
Yes.
And every match I try and do enough damage to it so it explodes. And every time I see people just say, wow, and it's great. And
it is a very cool moment. I think some folks, because it doesn't always happen. So we even now we still see folks experiencing that for the first time or discovering it. And I think those are, so shout out to the Levels team for doing that.
It's a proper Battlefield moment, even if it's like, static.
Yeah, I would say so. And you mentioned earlier that you really like playing with vehicles. So I'm very curious as well what your thoughts are on Control, our recent seasonal event mode.
I think the idea behind Control is fantastic. I really like that they shift, not randomly, but like between areas, the flags. And that was really awesome. I also really like that there's vehicles part of it, but I think there was way too many.
Too many, even for you.
I think I remember at one point I saw like 3 cav brawlers just come in with like the defense system and wipe off like 18 people at one point. Yeah. There's nothing you can do.
I think, okay. No, that's cool about the mode as well. Like where you could have those moments where at the end of the map, if people save their ascension points, they could go out for like an all-out assault. Yeah. And then you suddenly stand there with your handgun and you see 3 cav brawlers coming your way. And you're like, oh, okay, this is over.
Well, I'm gone.
Yeah.
No, on the point, I really like that. That is...
The ascension points.
Yes. So it really amped up the flow towards the end of the match, but early in the match it was mostly infantry with some transport like the jeeps and such. That I really liked. It made it like focus on the infantry first, and then towards the middle and end of it, it was very vehicle heavy. So it got kind of like unique in that way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like Conquest, you have vehicles immediately. But Control, you start off with infantry mostly, and that is such a unique like way of playing, especially with the point like the flags rotating, and it's such a unique way to play it. And I hope it comes back.
To be continued. We might have some news there soon. Oh no, I said soon.
Oh no.
Oh no, I
Soon
said the
TM.
thing. Soon TM. So I personally first got to know you as a content creator with the
Yes.
Battlefield community. So you mentioned it a little bit before as well, but can you speak a bit more about how did you get into creating content?
Yeah. So when that original Battlefront like teaser came out with the crashing of I forgot what the speeder was, and the 8080, I was immediately, I want to create on this. I want to make videos, I want to stream. And once that game came out, I immediately just started streaming. Videos wasn't really my focus because I found editing a little bit tedious at times. I still do, but it's better. So I started streaming a lot of Battlefront 1, some Battlefield 1, but I had a small Battlefield break a little bit for Battlefront with some friends there. And then that continued throughout to Battlefront 2 and Battlefield 5, which I did a little bit of streaming, more videos than that. And that was a very fun experience as well, which then went into 2042.
Yeah. Are you more a streamer or like a video creator now?
Right now, I'm probably more of a video editor, but I'd like to be more of a streamer because I find streaming and interacting with people live much more fun. But I'm trying to get into like a pipeline where I stream, then I can get content from that into short form and long form videos. So that is a pipeline that's going to get made. It's in
So what you're
progress.
working on.
Yeah.
In progress. Okay. And I believe you actually joined us for the Hourglass playtest recently.
Yes.
And you streamed? Or-
Yes, I did stream.
So how was that for you?
That was a lot of fun. And getting an opportunity to do that was really cool. And it was a very easy experience as well. I don't know, it's just super fun to be invited to stuff like that. And the entire experience was smooth as hell.
How did you do on the viewer point?
It was pretty good. I would like average around 10 viewers a point, which is decent for me now. It was good.
Because I think we didn't mention that, but you're still an up and coming smaller creator right now. So you're still making videos and exploring what works for you.
Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of experimenting on that.
And we can talk a little bit more about like what kind of videos are on your channel as well. And sorry, folks, I mentioned we recently did an Hourglass playtest. So if you missed that or don't know what it is, the day before the Hourglass rework went live, we play tested it publicly. So we invited a few folks such as Logan the Brawler, Jack Rex, and Torbis, and alongside others to just stream the experience publicly to their own communities. And for us, it was a lot of fun to do that as well. And from what I've heard from folks, it was interesting to watch, but also stream or create videos for. So something we would like to do more often. So to be continued as well. So Torbis, you've since also joined the Creator Network, the EA Creator Network. So yeah, how did that happen, and how do you feel, about being part of that?
So I think I joined maybe a little bit under a year before it went public. Like you could apply, and I was still doing content then. I had a couple of friends and people at EA who saw what I was doing, wanted to invite me to do stuff on that. And it's been an amazing experience since. And I'm really glad to be a part of the program. And people should apply too.
Because you can apply.
You can apply and see. And it's a great program to be a part of. And I'm glad to see it grow. Yep. It's been a really great journey so far.
So I think, depending on what type of creator you are, maybe you make screenshots, maybe you make videos, you're a streamer. There are many opportunities for, what you want to do creatively.
Yeah, exactly.
You can sign up. So go check it out, folks, if that's something you are interested in as well. Torbis, anything you want to add there?
Anybody can join. Literally anybody. You can do anything within the community and see if you want to join. Literally anybody. So many options for you there, and it's really great to see because not a lot of publishers do this, and it's great. It's a good community program.
Awesome. But I want to talk more about your channel.
Yes.
So where can folks find you? Is it, do you do Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram?
I do a bit of YouTube, Twitter, I guess mostly that. Yeah. And my handle there is like Torbis XD. And so I have 2 channels, but one is inactive. So if you just look for the one in Battlefield stuff.
I found your other channel recently. There was a lot of Hobbit stuff in there.
Yeah, Minecraft stuff. Yeah,
yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah. Which is
fun. Like, okay, so you had 2 channels. So you made a lot of content because
I've made a lot of stuff.
A whole lot of stuff on that other channel as well. But for the Battlefield channel is Torbis XD.
Yes.
So
just the handle itself is Torbis XD, but just typing in Torbis, it should be the first option.
Okay. Cool. And yeah, what kind of videos are you up to these days?
So right now I've been doing just like gameplay commentary where either I go in with a couple friends or myself, play some rounds, and if anything interesting happens or a really good round, then I put that together and I try not to edit them as like super heavily. So it's a lot more organic.
Yep.
And I like to put that stuff up there. And I did one with Control, which was really fun.
And chaotic.
And I got a very nice streak with the underbarrel shotgun on the M416, I think. And that was really fun, which was on Valparaiso. And that was really fun. And otherwise, I like to stream a lot. But I need to build myself up to it.
Do you stream on YouTube or Twitch?
Yes, YouTube. I stream on YouTube. And on that channel, I usually stream on Fridays. And I will usually stream also on one day in the weekend.
Okay. And so if folks want to check out your videos, just check you out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Torbis XD. Wait, I think, okay, I want to try out something. I noticed that on my, our streaming deck, we have weird voices. So I'm going to give you like a cool shout out.
Try the orange one.
For the orange one.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to call out your handle with a cool voice.
Torbis XD. Find him on YouTube.
Okay, so I don't know if that actually worked or not. Anyway, so that's something about your channel. I'm also curious to hear more about, the social aspect of Battlefield for you, because you mentioned you grew up and with a lot of friends and you played. So do you still play together with friends often?
Yeah, I play with specifically one person, a friend of mine. His name is Ludeus.
Yeah.
He's also part of the program. And we play pretty much anytime we play together. And we also have a couple other friends that join in usually towards the later in the night. And I've been playing with them since like Battlefield 1 almost every time we play. And it's
quite a few years.
Yeah, quite a few years. And it's been a great experience because I think some people have a hard time finding friends as well. And that's why they like to play online. And generally Battlefield has been always a community game for me. And you always find someone to play with, friends or whatever. It's just such a great experience. And I'm really happy to have been in the Battlefield community because I've found long friends that I'm still friends with.
Awesome. Did you end up meeting some of them in real life?
I met a couple of them right when I went to London in April, I think, and I met a lot of friends there. Some I met from Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefront and such. And that was really awesome.
Cool. How was it to,
that was
see
awesome.
Your squad together PTFOing in real life?
That was so much fun. There was a friend of mine I've known since like 2014, 2015. I met there for the first time.
Damn.
Came in from the US and that was so much fun. And I was really happy to be there.
Awesome.
Great.
It's really cool to hear. I have similar stories of like my gaming time as well, where I basically met friends. So I know what it feels like. And just it's wonderful that gaming can bring friends together like this. In this case, for Battlefield, PTFO.
Play
with your
squad. One thing you don't do.
Well, hey, I PTFO now.
Sometimes.
I mean, I added in all our blogs. Like it's mandatory. I have to PTFO. I think you also often frequent Friday Night Battlefield, which is the events we host every Friday where we have a cool new mode available in the game.
Yeah.
First of all, it's always super cool to see everyone get together on Friday to play. I know you show up there often, so anything,
it's
cool stuff you
kind
want to
of like tradition, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's been people there from a very long time. And we usually get a large group on Discord and then join on each other and fight out each other in the map. And it's a very fun time because sometimes you'll like shoot a friend of you and you'll be like, I'm gonna, and it's great. And I think if people want to try, just join every Friday. There's a new mode, right? Every Friday?
Yes, there's a new mode every Friday. So for Friday Night Battlefield specifically, we talked a lot about friends. I know there are a lot of gamers out there who would love to learn, to get to know more folks as well to play with. So if you are one of those players, come check out Friday Night Battlefield. I think that's just a very awesome way to get together.
Yeah. And all of us join together on Discord.
Yeah, you can also join on Discord in the Battlefield server if you're looking for some folks. Yeah. Then lastly, let's talk about Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
So as a frequent player, just want to hear some of your feedback while we have you here in the studio. What's the one thing you currently like about 2042, like your favorite thing, and what do you think we do well?
I think that, at least as of late, I think the weapon like redos with the spread and the vault weapons, especially vault weapons, was a really good idea.
Okay.
Introducing the vault weapons was a great way to introduce more weapons from Portal throughout like the slower periods of the seasons, and that's really helped. But obviously in the start they lacked attachments and they weren't competitive, except like a couple were. And as more time has passed, you've updated them and added more attachments and such, and that's been great. I do think that some of them still lack a bit of attachments. Like
the vault weapons.
Yes. Some of them still lack a fair bit, like the barrels especially, like muzzles. That is one part, but it's been a great job to do that. And I think even better was the spread stuff. Cause
that's very recent as well.
Yeah, that is also recent. And because before you could beam at 150, 200 meters and hit every single shot with like the RM68 and such. But now it's a lot harder to do, which I think creates a lot more survivability at longer ranges.
Yeah, I mean, it was never the intent for weapons to just be able to beam from across the map. So we wanted to hear player feedback on that as well. How does it feel? Because it's whenever we balance a weapon, there are obviously a lot of varying opinions from players. Some people like it, some players don't. But I feel it's at least good to hear that quote from you. Like it feels more fair now.
Yeah, it's a lot more fair now. Okay. You can definitely have a bit more versatility, I think. Because you can't just beam now.
No.
Especially like in previous Battlefields, you'd always burst, right?
Yep.
And now that's a lot better now. So if you want to hit someone at like longer ranges, you burst or tap fire. You can't just full auto because everything will go everywhere.
Yeah. So it requires more skill basically.
Yeah, exactly.
To fire from a distance.
Yeah, and overall, I think they've done a good job. So it's been good.
Shout out to the weapons team.
Shout out to the weapons team.
Cool. One thing you would improve.
I think there's still quite a bit of vehicle explosive stuff.
Too much explosion spam still?
I think that there's been a hot topic with gunships. I personally don't think they're very healthy for the game. Because you can have, say, there's a few squads who like take over the entire thing. You have 3 gunners, 2 repair people. You're never going to take it down. And personally, if it's a bit much, because they can just take over any objective without doing much. They just fly, kill everybody there, and done. And if I had my way, I would probably take the main gunner seat with like a spotter seat. That I think would do a pretty good job. Like the miniguns are fine. It's just the main guns are very strong.
Okay. Shout out to the vehicles team to balance that. So feedback we will forward.
It is better though. Yeah. Because you did remove a lot of explosives. And that's good.
It's still ongoing, by the way. Like I can share that right now. Like we continue to make steps, but I would say small steps because we don't want to immediately overhaul the entire system.
Yeah.
Here and there we make some changes and we did some stuff already during season 5. But what I understand from you is you would like to see a little bit more, especially for the gunships.
And with vehicles as well. The good stuff that we have seen now on Hourglass is like the vehicle limits and numbers. That's a good thing. But I do think it needs to be brought to the other maps as well. Because that's what has brought a lot of uniqueness to previous maps, right?
Yep.
Like some maps would have absolutely no air, but have tanks and ground and such. And that really helped me, in my opinion, flow up the map much better. For example, like Stranded, in my opinion, shouldn't really have much air. It feels a lot more like an infantry and ground vehicle map.
It is what it was designed for as well.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it with the levels team on the previous podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the hourglass vehicle count was a test.
Yeah.
There was when it just went live, there were a little bit too much vehicles, so we tweaked that. I believe yesterday. Well, by the time you listen to that is not actually yesterday. So let's just say early August we tweaked that because this podcast will probably come out later. But we can, and we've already discussed that as well, we can tweak that for other maps as well. So it's something, we always review what makes sense for each map. And especially if players give us feedback that they would like to see changes, more or less vehicles or, different categories, we can make those changes. So to be continued as well. We'll keep reviewing. And then lastly, something you would like to see us add to Battlefield 2042?
This, I'd like to see attack jets.
Attack jets?
Yeah, like the A-10, the Su-25, in Battlefield 4 and 3, or even 5, that was my jam. That was the only thing I used.
Because you're a vehicle player?
Yes. And in Battlefield 5 especially, I used the Mosquito with the 4,000-pound bomb.
Yeah.
And on Fjell, like the map, you just drop that bomb anywhere on an objective and get like 10, 15 kills.
Torbis, the vehicle player. Cool. So, Torbis, I really liked having this chat with you.
Yes.
It was awesome to speak about Battlefield with you. Is there any shout-outs you want to give to whoever's listening, from your end?
Just to one friend, Ludeus. That's it.
Ludeus.
Ludeus.
Shout out to Ludeus.
Good friend.
You're a good friend, Ludeus.
Yes.
Shout out to you.
Englishman in Finland.
He's in Finland.
Yes.
Nice. So you're from Norway.
Yes.
I'm in Sweden. Ludeus is in Finland. So we're all next to each other. Nice. However, we're not done. We still have cookies. Do you want to eat a cookie?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll take a cookie.
So today we have cantuccini, and I have no idea how to pronounce this in bad Swedish, but I will try because that's my thing now. How would they say this?
Are you sure it's Swedish?
No, it is not Swedish. These are 100% not Swedish, but usually I try to pronounce the cookies in Swedish.
Cantuccini, I don't know.
Cantuccini. No, that doesn't sound Swedish. I don't know. Okay, I tried. You can take the chocolate one.
Yeah.
I'll take the one with almond. But these are great with coffee, by the way. Cantuccini, I think it's, I have one with almond.
Ooh, they smell really good. This chocolate one. Oh.
Yeah, I actually love these a lot. So there we go. So here you are, Torbis, in the
They're
dice
so
office,
dry.
eating cookies on the podcast.
Yeah. They're so dry.
They are very dry. I mean, usually they're not as dry. But these are very. I think you usually have these with like coffee or a little bit of a liqueur, like after dinner. Yeah, we need some water now.
Really good though. Oh.
Yeah, they are really good. Cool. Let me just finish this one. I can see your face like, okay, I need water now. These are not my favorite. Like, I think Nika, our cookie connoisseur, brought some really nice sort of brownies. I think it was last week. Those were really nice. These are tasty, a little bit dry.
Mine are very dry.
But how do we rate them? 5-10? Was it?
I'd say like a 6.5.
A 6.5. Okay.
It was good. The chocolate was very good.
So it was more about the chocolate, not the cookie.
I'd say the chocolate was the best part of that one.
Okay.
It's not hard to get chocolate wrong though.
Okay. That is, true. So folks, thanks for listening. That's all we have for you today. Again, I'm personally super excited to again talk with a member of our community, especially in this podcast setting. Hope all of you listening enjoyed it as well. Torbis, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Of course.
I mean, you already gave a final shout out for your friend, but please repeat where folks can find your channel in case they want to watch your content.
Find me at Torbis on YouTube with the Battlefield content.
Torbis XD.
right?
You sound like a droid from Star Wars.
Torbis XD
Yes.
on YouTube. Cool. So, folks, we'll be back with more podcast episodes. In the meantime, get in touch with us at Inside Battlefield on socials, #Inside Battlefield, or at podcast@battlefield.com. And from all of us here at the Battlefield Studios, stay classy and PTFO.
One thing he doesn't do.
Thanks, Torbis. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.